Welcome to my GSPN Live. You're here with your host, Robert Brown.
And Jose Rodriguez.
We've got a very exciting show for you, finishing up some high school baseball that, the weather finally let happen. But before we get started, we'd like to thank Garden Grocer for giving us this opportunity. If you're in the Disney resort area, go to www.gardengrocer.com. Set up an order for, drinks, snacks, any food that you want. It'll be delivered to wherever you're at in the Disney area.
So when you arrive.
Yeah. So when you get there, save time, money, energy, spend more of that time with the kids, go to the parks. Everything will be there at your arrival. So let's jump into some championship games that we finally got to happen. These games are almost 2 weeks old at this point.
Oh yeah, I feel pretty bad announcing these, but
yeah.
Again, the weather, Mother Nature was not too nice to us.
We finally got them, and these are again championship games for the state of Florida.
Yeah.
Right now for 1, 2, 3, and 4A. So let's give these teams the congratulations really they deserve and their props. So we had Port St. Joe with 4 runs against Madison County in the 1A state championship. Madison County did not score, so Port St. Joe's is your 1A state championship for 2018.
Now, going to 2A is Wakulla Christian School against Miami Christian. Wakulla lost really bad to Miami Christian 9-3, so there was a 6-run deficit. But again, Miami Christian, Miami known to have a lot of good talent down there when it comes to baseball. And again, they came up and became victorious in the 2A division. And also the 3A division, North Florida Christian against Canterbury. Canterbury came out on top against North Florida, and Calvary Christian against Calvary Christian. So it was 2 different Calvary Christians. It was for 4A, it was Calvary Christian versus Calvary Christian Academy.
Yeah.
So it's a little confusing there. In the end, I think they both got the W because it's the same name.
Now, for those who don't know, Calvary Christian was on a 60-game winning streak. There's actually an article on my GSPN, our news website, so please go along so you can follow along and read about that. But they had a 60-game winning streak. They had won 30 in a row this year. Going into a championship game, everybody expected them to win.
To win, and they did.
Yeah, they have their rivals, and they upset them. Calvary Christian Academy upsets Calvary Christian. I know it's a little complicated, but they won 5-1, upsetting that Calvary Christian 60-game win streak. So now they're starting back at 0, and we've got a different state champion this year for 4A.
You start from 0, and it shouldn't be a problem to this team. If they do it once, they can do it over again.
They've got the talent, good coaching, great pedigree there. So I definitely expect to see Calvary Christian.
Oh yeah, I agree 100%.
Win a bunch more games next year and get to this level again. Now we want to talk about those are championship games that we finally got to happen. We were also allowed some, Final Fours were happening, and some I guess you'll say like the Elite Eights were happening. Now for the 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9A districts in the state of Florida, we've got all of the Final Fours for baseball set and ready to go. So we'll jump into that with 5A. We have Bowles versus Nature Coast, which will be on the 31st at 10 a.m. So an early morning game. And then we have Avon Park versus Monsignor Pace. Again, that game is also on the 31st, and that'll be a 1 p.m. game.
Now, going down to 6A and 7A is going to be, starting with 6A, is going to be Clay versus Jefferson. Instead of the 31st, it's going to be a day before that. It's going to be May 30th, and that's going to be at 10 a.m. Then it's going to go down into Barron Collier and Mary Island, also on the 30th, and it's going to be at 1 p.m. And 7A going down to Venice and Doro Academy, and also the 30th at 7 p.m. And then going down to 8A is going to be Strawberry Crest against Sarasota. That's going to be the 1st of June. That's going to be at 10 a.m.
Yep.
So these games are all going to be towards the end of May and at the beginning of June. So make sure you tune into those, because you can agree with this, Rob, that 4A, 5A, 6A, 7A, and 9A are, in my opinion, the most competitive baseball districts and divisions that are
bigger districts. You got more kids, more opportunity to have
schools are bigger,
talent.
of course.
So but again, like in baseball and softball, volleyball, those smaller, the smaller schools like to put a lot of money into those type of programs. They recruit a little bit, so
they tend to have a lot of success.
Like the Calvary Christians, they can be the #1 overall team in the entire country with 60 straight wins, things like that. But these giant conferences, the 8As, 9As, it's so exciting. So much talent, it's so many kids.
It's like a regular, the more teams a division has, the more exciting it is because you can root for different teams and you can see different matchups.
Exactly. Anytime. Yeah. We want to stay in 8A. We have George Jenkins versus St. Thomas Aquinas. This game is also going to be on the 1st. That'll be a 1 p.m. game. Now, those districts we're talking about, that 9A giant districts, Dr. Phillips versus Timber Creek. That game will be on the 1st as well at 4 p.m. And then Jupiter versus Columbus, again on the 1st. And that'll be the late game at 7 p.m. These 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9A are all, set up for the Final Four. Winners of these games will,
it's gonna be really exciting,
play against each other for championships, and we'll have, another round of state champions being crowned very, very soon.
Or you can also have a repeating state champion with Timber Creek.
Yep.
Anything can happen.
That is definitely, honestly, Timber Creek might be the favorite to get that win over Dr. Phillips anyway. So, but, it's all exciting and can't wait to see who does get those championships and, get to crown these kids victorious.
100%, I'm probably rooting for Timber Creek.
Yeah.
Everybody likes a champion.
And speaking of champions, we'll stay in all championship games. There's 9 of them we're about to talk about. Florida softball is done for the year. We've gotten all the weather, out the way enough to get these championship games done. So let's jump into it.
1A, right?
Let's
do it. 1A. So let's start with the number 1. 1A, it's Wellwood Hitchcock beat Trenton 2-1. And then 2A, it's Cecilia Christian lost to Academy of the Lakes 1-0, which was a very exciting game. It could have gone either way. But again, there's only one champion. Now, moving on ahead to 3A, it's going to be Cornerstone Charter against that Merrill Farragut. And they also, lost to Merrill Farragut 8-6. Again, it was a close game that could have gone either way, but the championship game is a championship game.
So I don't want to say it's an upset. I don't know, too much about the two teams, but from what we have talked about, we've heard Cornerstone's name a little more. So, in my opinion, just off the information we've had, it's a little bit of an upset going on right there.
Cornerstone, everybody wanted Cornerstone to win, especially in that district.
Definitely.
When it comes to softball, baseball, they're kind of like the favorite, like you said, for the 9A with Timber Creek. And, everybody was rooting for them. And they made it that far, but there's always next year.
There is. Let's move on to, we have the 5A game. Where it's West Nassau won to Coral Springs Charter, which is the number 1 ranked softball team in all of the states according to most people's rankings. We'll be updating ours tomorrow now that the season's completely over and showing you what we believe. But Coral Springs Charter is dominant, and they had a great year, number 1 in most of the rankings, and they walk out with a 5A state championship with a 4-1 victory. We move on to the 6A, Land O'Lakes versus American Heritage. American Heritage gets this win 5-1. Kind of expected this. It's kind of like that Mount Vernon, that IMG, where there's such a powerhouse in a lot of sports. American Heritage.
And it's going to get to that when you get to, the 7As, 8As, and 9As. For example, like you were saying, 8A, Oakleaf, Haggerty, they lost to, Oakleaf lost to Haggerty 1-0. But 9A, that's where it was kind of getting interesting because West Orange was the favorite for everything. And they lost to Western 7-0. They couldn't even run up a score and put a run up for their whole team. They had a goose egg, as they say in baseball, with a 0. So again, it was disappointing, but as the other teams, there's only one champion. And there's always next year. They had a lot of young, talented girls that were not a lot of seniors.
And that's the big thing, especially juniors, sophomores. You have so much talent coming back, so much potential and experience now getting to either, championship games, Final Fours.
And not only that, once you make it to regionals, your mindset automatically switches. It's different. It's different than just, going to districts every single year and just, districts. But these ladies and girls actually made it all the way to regionals, the state, semis, and actually
the
state championship. That's where they take the cake,
We want to take our look around the country real quick. We'll go over to Washington State. There's a 3A basketball championship game that a correspondent of ours got to watch, and there's an article again on myGSPN on our news feed, so please go check this out. But South Ridge versus Kelso High School, and we have South Ridge winning the 3A state championship in Washington State again. As I mentioned, there is the article from Rick Coleman online on our website. We encourage everybody that's watching, and go share it so people can go and we can start spreading the word about, different states other than just Florida, the Southeast, and things like Texas, California, the big ones. We want to touch a little bit of everything.
So just go to the news.myGSPN.com, and then on the website you'll see it right then and there, and you check it out. Not only that one, but also the ones that we have available for you to check out. Like Rob here said, not only in Florida, but in other states where we have also correspondence to check out as well.
We'd like to give this opportunity just a quick word from our sponsor. Welcome back. High school sports are, kind of getting to the real end of it with the school year going on. We've got some travel ball we're getting into, but right now we do have professional sports left, and it's really at the point where
they're also almost at the finish line.
Yeah, they are. But we have championship games coming. We'll start with the NBA playoffs. This is the first time that the Eastern and Western conferences have gone to 7 games in both their championship series in the past 39 years. So let's start with the East. LeBron dominated it again the way he's done the past 7 years.
It's as you said at the beginning of the playoffs when it comes to basketball, LeBron is the first seed.
Yeah.
He's the first seed, and he is the East.
And he was, this year they got the 4th seed, but it didn't matter. They went to Toronto, completely dismantled Toronto, and now they had Boston where, you expected them to lose. The first game, second game, it looks bad for Cleveland, and LeBron does what he does.
Not only that, but you got to think about it. If there was in a different perspective, Gordon Hayward going out like that at the beginning of the season, Kyrie of course, but they had a rookie carrying them, Jason Tatum.
This past game, in Game 7, he had 24 points, 7 rebounds, and a steal to lead his team. And he's basically led them the entire playoffs.
Oh yeah, he was averaging 20 points a game, and that's insane because the last time, this kid is pretty much a teenager going against a future legend in LeBron James
and dunking on him, giving him the business.
Playing a great matchup.
Yeah, he actually was 1 point away from tying Lou Alcindor, who became Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, for those that don't know, for most points by a rookie in the history of playoffs. Wow. So he's, that's passing people like Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, who went and won NBA Finals MVP and championship his rookie year. So, he
went far enough.
Yeah, he put his name on the map, and he is one step, even more so than Ben Simmons and Donovan Mitchell.
I feel like he deserves the Rookie of the Year, of course.
Definitely. Marcus Morris also had 14 points, 13 rebounds. Al Horford, who has been the vocal leader and the vet on this Celtics team, had 17 points, 4 rebounds. We got Braun though.
The story.
LeBron James is 35 points, 15 rebounds, 2 blocks. He's an animal. He is a monster. He was joined finally by Jeff Green's 19 points, which really, that's what LeBron needed. He's been doing it by himself. He's super tired. He needed a player to step up and really give him, 15,
Kevin Love wasn't
20.
doing it. JR wasn't doing it.
Yeah.
Tristan wasn't doing it. So it's nice to see at least one of the 6 men or people in the bench stepping up like he did.
And JR had 12 points and 4 rebounds. Kevin Love did not play due to concussion symptoms, so they didn't need him. They had LeBron, and they move on. Now, the other Game 7 out in Houston, Golden State wins 101 to 92, and maybe the best game of the playoffs so far. This game started off with Golden State looking terrible in the first half, really. First quarter was bad. Second quarter was bad.
I thought Houston was actually going to take that W.
Yeah,
even without
CP3. Yeah. To me, when I'm watching this game, Houston was playing so well, hitting their shots, playing defense, getting a bunch of offensive rebounds.
Yeah, they were executing.
But they were still only up 5. Golden State was playing terrible. Houston's clicking. They're still only up 5. They're still only up 10. And that's not enough when you have the big 4 that they have over in
it's
Golden
not really
State.
fair. It's not really fair at all.
And I mean, James Harden did his thing. He didn't shoot particularly well. It took him a bunch of shots, 29 shots to get 32 points. But he 32 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Eric Gordon stepped up with 23 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. And Clint Capella also had his 20 points and 9 rebounds. So he had pieces step up.
Yeah, without Chris Paul, it was hard. You were expecting 30 from Paul, 30 from Harden.
Yep.
And that's 60 points right there.
And almost 10 assists from each of them, so that's another 40 points minimum.
I feel like that was a game changer right there. Chris Paul not playing for the Houston Rockets.
And that took them out of a lot of their shots. This is the 5th straight game that Golden State held Houston under 100 points. They were only held 4 times the entire regular season in those 82 games under 100. So,
and this is only by 9 points. It wasn't even. It was 3 threes.
Their defense is that's what you want defensively. They locked in and they're ready to go against LeBron. They also missed 27 straight 3-pointers from midway through the second to the beginning of the fourth quarter, which is an NBA record for most consecutive missed threes. They also missed 37 threes in the game.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's not a good record.
Yeah, it's not a good record to have, but both of those, the 27 in a row and the 37 total, are both NBA records that you wish someone else had.
Not a team, exactly. I wouldn't want that.
Golden State ends up with Steph Curry had 27 points, 10 rebounds, or 10 assists, 9 rebounds. KD had 34 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Klay Thompson stepped up with his 19 points.
About time.
Draymond Green had 10 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists. So
they came out.
They're playing the way they need to play.
I think they're ready for the finals.
Once they locked in that second half and started really playing defense and sharing the ball, Golden State looked like Golden State.
I agree 100%.
And now we've got our 4th straight year these teams meet in the finals. You should be used to it, but give you a small preview. That game will be on 31st at 9 p.m. in Golden State. Again, the 4th straight year. This is LeBron's 8th consecutive NBA Finals, his 9th overall. Cleveland's 50 and 32 on the year. It's a good record. They were 4th in the league, averaging 111 points, which that's not enough to beat Golden State, especially with the way they're playing defense.
Oh no, man! If they were almost losing to a rookie carry team, Boston Celtics, without Kyrie or Gordon Hayward, I would honestly, if I'm, Steve Kerr, I can give Steph Curry a rest for game 1.
Yeah.
That would be the most, ideal thing to do, because again, he was coming off an injury in the playoffs as well. I will give him a little sit down, a break. Maybe if things start to shake up.
They got 4 games. I think they'll put him out there, go all the way. Hopefully they get this sweep early and they can sit down. LeBron's played over 100 games this year. His body is tired.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking, playing the long game and tiring him even more.
LeBron this year averaged 27.5 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds. He probably won't win the MVP, but if he does, can you argue? And he's decided to step his game up even more in the playoffs, averaging 34 points a game, 9 rebounds, and right under 9 assists. So, LeBron is carrying not only his teammates, but the coach, the franchise, the city of Cleveland, again.
And his legacy.
Yeah, by himself. Kevin Love has averaged 13.9 points, 10 rebounds, and just under 2 assists this playoffs, while Kyle Korver's just under 10 points, shooting 45% from 3. And again, that's just for the playoff. Now, we move over to them big boys. Golden State, 25 points a game for Steph Curry in these playoffs, 5 assists, 6 rebounds. Kevin Durant's just shy of 30 points, 4 assists, 7 rebounds. Klay Thompson is at 20.5 points, 2 assists, 4 rebounds. So
yeah, Klay's hitting his peak performance. He had 19 game 7. So this is exactly what you would expect from Klay Thompson.
You're getting 75 points from your 3 perimeter players, averaging 75 points. That's absolutely insane. And then Draymond is averaging 11 points, 8 assists, 11 rebounds, or just under 12 rebounds. So
that's perfect.
Yeah,
if you can maintain the Cavs under 80 points, you got a W every game.
And I definitely think they will. They should come out with a sweep. Now, we wanted champions.
A sport towards me a little more. Let's talk a little about soccer.
We have the UEFA Champions League. We've kind of prepared you for this, talking about it for the past couple days, but Real Madrid took on Liverpool in one of the most anticipated games I really for Liverpool and other fans around the world.
I mean, Real Madrid's used to it.
Everybody was tuned in to hopefully see somebody dethrone Real Madrid, and you can't do it. They are arguably the greatest team in history for a reason.
Oh yeah,
there's a reason that there's that argument. They
fifth straight win for UEFA Champions League. Not only that, but Liverpool has not made an appearance in the UEFA Champions League since 1985. Yeah. So, they were not used to it. They were a little nervous. That's why you saw it in the first half. Matter of fact, in the first minutes of the game, in seconds, you saw Liverpool attacking with all their might and just Real Madrid playing laid back as if it was a scrimmage.
It was actually watching that game and watching kind of the game last night, that Golden State game. Houston played so well off jump. You just see they gave everything. Golden State didn't play well, and they were right there.
It's when you're already used to playing at that certain level, you don't have to stress it.
Liverpool played so well off jump, and you could tell the whole time Real Madrid isn't playing their best, but they're playing great, and we're still right here. As soon as we click, it's over.
That's another thing, the click. One thing that clicked for Real Madrid was not even in their starting player. Isco, exactly, the substitutions. The player that subbed out for Isco was Gareth Bale, which arguably should not be a sub. He scored 2 goals. Actually, maybe the goal of the year with that bicycle kick.
Definitely.
When Marcelo crossed it into the box, and it was just amazing, And then that dagger when Karius missed it from half range, it was just insane. I'm still having great thoughts of that great bicycle kick that Gareth Bale took.
My actual favorite part of outside of the bicycle kick, because that was insane. And I probably will say I might take Ronaldo's bicycle kick against Juventus.
Oh yeah. Ronaldo went actually, like he was completely in the air, and it was like a 90-degree angle.
That's why they're Real Madrid. You're arguing the best goal of the year between
2
Ronaldo
players
and Bale. That's they're on the same team. That's why they're there. But my favorite moment had to be the beginning of Benzema's first goal to start.
Oh yeah, that's just heads up play right there.
Very, very heady, very, very smart. It's a veteran play.
I feel like play, and then a rookie mistake by Karius. Karius being playing in such a tough league, the Premier League in England. He should know better.
He should
know better. They play with a lot of different antics and tactics over there, and
made a boneheaded mistake that really cost his team.
Oh, and it might have cost him his career, probably.
It might have. So, sticking in soccer again. Congratulations to Real Madrid for the 13th time, 3rd time in a row. Ronaldo's got his 5th. And actually, their coach, Zinedine Zidane, is the first coach to ever win 3 straight championships. Now, other clubs have won 3 straight. Bayern Munich did it. There's another club, Ajax, I believe, did it.
Milan, AC Milan.
They had different coaches throughout those years. He's the first person to win the 3 in a row. Sticking in soccer, just a quick injury recap. We're about to start a World Cup kind of preview.
We have 18 days away from the World Cup, so it's going to be really exciting.
And we want to really talk to you a lot about it. We're going to be on top of it a lot. We're going to put a page up on our website for scores and highlights and updates. So, for any World Cup information that you're not watching on TV, we have you here at myGSPN. So we'll start with an injury update just to get you kind of ready for it.
Oh yeah, and actually this injury update, we're going to start with the country of Egypt.
Yep.
This actually happened during the UEFA Champions League soccer match against Real Madrid and Liverpool, with Mohamed Salah, being
best player.
Tumbled down. Yeah, pretty much their best player and Egypt's best player.
Yes.
This guy tumbled down with Sergio Ramos, the captain of Real Madrid, and had a dislocated shoulder with ligament damage to the left arm. And I thought when that happened, he was going to be out for the World Cup. And, memes were out all over social media how Egypt was going after, Sergio Ramos, Spain, etc. But, good news to that. Mohamed Salah is going to have about 15 days to recover, or 2 weeks. And that's when, there'll be a affirmative yes or no whether he'll be able to play and be in the roster for Egypt, which is pretty good because he still, even after 2 weeks, he still has a couple of days left before preparations actually take place.
And speaking of the Ramos situation, watching the game, Salah kind of locked up with him before the play. So I'm hearing a lot of fans talk about how it was a dirty play. He grabbed him, threw him down. It wasn't really the case. If you watch it, you see Salah initiate the contact, initiate the lockup. Things went downhill from there.
I mean,
you never want to see
they wet
hurt.
the grass when you play soccer. You're playing with rubber cleats. You know, you might have slipped. I'm not a professional. I'm not gonna say.
I don't feel like it was an intention. Ramos did it intentionally.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not a professional soccer player, but playing soccer and for fun and loving the sport and all that stuff. It just comes with the game. It's a rough game.
Injuries happen. We saw Ronaldo in the last World Cup. He had to get carted off. Had to give up his captain's band. Had to give it to someone else, and he was done for the World Cup.
It was done.
Yeah, so I mean, injuries happen. It's a part of all sports, really. But Ramos, I don't think he did it intentionally.
Yeah, I know. Not going to another team right next to that one is going to be really important. Now, with that being said, is actually for Spain. Daniel Carvajal, which is actually again playing with Real Madrid against Liverpool in the UEFA Champions League. It was kind of like they take one, we take one as well, even Steven. But with that being said, Carvajal has been battling a hamstring injury all season long. Back in January, he was out for about 3 to 4 weeks with a major sprain in his hamstring. Then after that, he recovered, playing good, everything was nice, until the UEFA Champions League match where he again aggravated the hamstring and could not play. He was shedding tears. It was very emotional. But good news to him as well, kind of like Salah. He's actually going to have a minor sprain and he's going to have about a week to recover, which is still more than enough time to make it to the World Cup.
And with an event like a World Cup, especially being on a team like Spain that has such a good chance of winning it, your emotions are going to be up.
And not only that,
you're
representing your country, your emblem.
He's going to fight through this.
Exactly.
I do believe we'll see him playing.
And he's 26 years old now, so by the time another World Cup arrives,
he'll be 30.
He'll be 30. Who knows if he's actually still going to be healthy enough to play.
Or even good enough with the way that Spain's constantly bringing in just talent.
Like, for example, Asensio. Another great... He's only 20 years old, and he looks like he's 27. Like, this guy's a beast.
Now, another big country that has a great chance in winning this World Cup is Brazil. There's a couple injury issues that they've, been having over the past... I guess 6 months.
Yeah, but the main one is just, from PSG, Dani Alves, broken ankle. It's just devastating. To all my Brazilian fans out there, he's a significant key, probably going to be the missing puzzle piece to the Brazilian squad. And this guy is just kind of like a Marcelo for Real Madrid. He's the life of the party for the team. And
Brazil has Marcelo, though.
They do have Marcelo. They have a bunch of talent, but it's not going to be the same, with somebody that doesn't have experience in a previous World Cup to somebody that's already going into and knows what to expect for that team, you know what I mean? Now, another big country, actually, that...
Maybe the best.
Arguably, but it is a good argument.
Now, I may be wrong. Didn't Germany win the last World Cup? And they're currently ranked number 1 in the FIFA rankings?
But, there's some teams that may be able to upset them. For example, like France or Spain. Brazil itself. So the list goes on and on and on. But, these injury updates for Germany is actually really great news and a sigh of relief for them. Because Manuel Neuer, Marco Reus, and Jerome Boateng, which is a great defender for Bayern Munich, that were pretty much injured the whole season and battling injuries, are A-OK to play for the World Cup and represent their country once again in this big major event that the whole world is going to take place in. So,
not to minimize the significance of his any other domestic league season in Italy and Spain and France. Those are great. Your club teams are amazing. This is the World Cup. This is the chance to represent your country, your family, yourself. These players are going to leave everything out on the field. This is basically the Olympics, but just focused on one sport.
If soccer is already really emotional with the club that you're playing for, you're going to, pour your heart out for your country and you're going to give it all you got. So.
Definitely. But any student athlete that would like to be featured on our show, send us in videos and contact us at videos@myGSPN.com.
Again, this show today was brought to you by GardenGrocery.com. If you're coming in on vacation to the Florida area, Orlando area, make sure to go to www.gardengrocery.com to place an order for your beverages, groceries, anything that you want to cook at home and not spend money outside on the resorts. Go to www.gardengrocery.com to save time, money, and spend more time with your family as well.
Again, we will be doing a World Cup just about every day we do a show now. So, those soccer fans, whatever country that you celebrate and that you want to watch, we'll be doing highlights and kind of touching on hopefully every team that we can. So we thank you for tuning in. We encourage all student athletes to go to myGSPN and sign up for a player profile. And then follow us on all our social media so we can get interacting with you. And definitely during this World Cup that we have going on that we're going to be talking about so much, we definitely want to hear from you about any plays you like, anything you want to see posted. So please contact us, and we'll hopefully see you later.
Thanks for tuning in.